He's heating up.
This is the classic case of it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do. If I'm Damian Lillard, I'm saying I'm a 7-time All-Star, 11 years with the same franchise. I've never played with a member of the top 75th anniversary team, yet I am a member of the top 75th anniversary team. I have never played with another top player in the league, and I have not played with another All-Star in the last 8 seasons. Scoring champion. And also, we have a conference finals appearance. I am one of the greatest shooters and one of the greatest point guards in NBA history. Everybody's been saying ask for a trade. I finally do so. They say you should probably go to Miami. That's the type of team that needs you. Make a trade request to the Miami Heat. Suddenly it's a problem because you only asked to go to one team. But James Harden, on the other hand, multiple MVP teammates, multiple teammates in the top 75th anniversary team, another player who's a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner, another player who's one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, and multiple coaches who will be in the Hall of Fame someday. And this is your third trade request to your third preferred team in the last 4 seasons. Now, you want it out of Philly. You want it out of Houston. I want to go to Brooklyn. I want out of Brooklyn. I want to go to Philly. One out of Philly. I want to go to the Clippers. Nobody bats an eye because this is expected behavior from James Harden, and you're going to throw all this shade at Damian Lillard for doing the exact same thing, and this is his first go around. That might be an excuse, but this is, in fact, an opportunity for Joel Embiid to ask out of Philly. Here's why I say that, okay? Joel Embiid can make the case that he's held up his end of the bargain, and Philly has not. Going all the way back, let's start with Jimmy Butler, all right? You only get 3 strikes before you're out. Jimmy Butler being let go and walking away to the Miami Heat, strike 1, okay? You choose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler after you get to the conference semis, game 7, on the road, and Kawhi Leonard hits a miracle of shots. The miracle of all miracles. Several bounces, it goes in, you go home. If that ball doesn't go in, you go to overtime, you win the game, you end up going to the conference finals against Milwaukee. I think you have a chance because you have a lot of bodies to throw at Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons was a great defender at that time. Tobias Harris is long, has a lot of length. And then you got Joel Embiid in the painted area. I think that would have been a great conference finals matchup. I would have picked Philly to go to the NBA finals in that situation. But you say, we're going to pay Tobias Harris because we don't know if we can control Jimmy Butler. Jimmy says, I'm out. He goes to Miami. Think of it like this. We've seen what Jimmy's been able to do with Bam Adebayo. Could you then imagine Jimmy Butler, MVP Embiid, in the conference finals, in the NBA finals? Things would look totally different for both of these players right now if they would have stayed together. Now, that's strike 1, like I said. Then Daryl Morey comes in. Doc Rivers is there. Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid has the best player-coach communication that Embiid has had the entirety of his career. Absolutely loved Doc Rivers. But another issue with that is you bring in James Harden. Those two clash. Daryl Morey is the GM. Daryl Morey is going to lean into what James Harden wants because that's his boy. James Harden gets Doc Rivers fired. That's strike 2. Now, James Harden asked for a trade. This is strike 3, not because he's asking for a trade, but because Daryl Morey said, you know what? This is my guy. I'm going to bring him from Houston. By hook or crook, I'm going to bring him from Houston into Philly, and we're going to get this thing done because I know what he's capable of. Put him with that guy, we're going to get an NBA championship. James Harden didn't hold up his end of the bargain after Daryl Morey vouched for him. So now James Harden asked for a trade. All right, 3 strikes and I'm out. The best possible scenario for me, okay? No, I'm not going to say Miami. We're going to get Dame, pair him with Jimmy and Bam. We're going to get this thing done. But the best option for Joel Embiid is New York. Okay, put Joel Embiid with Jalen Brunson. We've seen what Brunson's been able to do, especially in Dallas against the Utah Jazz in that playoff series. And in my opinion, if Luka Doncic actually learned to play off the ball, Jalen Brunson might still be in Dallas and they could be causing a lot of problems for teams. Now, You see what Jalen Brunson's been doing in New York, what they looked like last season, a much more organized team when he was on the floor, a much scarier team when he was on the floor, especially late in games, multiple 40-point games in the playoffs. He's a very scary player when he's locked in, and he's very tough to guard. Shifty, crafty, can shoot the ball, can get to his spot. He's going to organize the team, have everybody on the same page, and everybody's going to play off his energy, off of his focus, off of his drive, and everything else that comes with Jalen Brunson. That's the type of teammate that Joel Embiid's looking for since Jimmy Butler's been out of Philly. Now, you pair him up with Jalen Brunson, what does the rest of the lineup look like? In my opinion, I'm not great at these little trade machine things and these hypothetical proposed trades, but I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll try it out, see how it works. I got the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the LA Clippers involved in a 3-team trade. All right, completely hypothetical, but let's play around with the numbers a little bit. I got Joel Embiid going to the New York Knicks with Marcus Morris and Robert Covington. Okay, and then I got Paul George, Evan Fournier, Mitchell Robinson, and Kobe Brown going to the Sixers. I got James Harden, Julius Randle, and Hardenstein going to the Clippers. All right, so if we look at it like this, you got Joel Embiid, Morris, Covington, Jalen Brunson. They keep RJ Barrett, and you got the other two Villanova boys in Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. You got Quickly, you got Grimes, you got Isaiah Roby. You got a host of young players on this team still. You're gonna need another big to back up Joel Embiid. Go out and get somebody like Boogie Cousins or Dwight Howard, somebody that's been looking for a team to join, somebody that's going to be motivated when they come in, give them some spot minutes here and there. But I think that works out for the New York Knicks. Obviously, Philly, they're probably going to struggle because, again, you lose Joel Embiid, MVP caliber player. You're getting a new head coach in there. You lose James Harden. It's going to be tough to change the dynamic of the team on the fly, but you get Paul George, perennial all-star when he's healthy, one of the best two-way players in the league. You get Fournier, who's motivated, get Mitchell Robinson, great offensive rebounder. You get some decent pieces, but you're not going to do much with that roster as constructed. You're probably going to be ended up in a rebuild situation within the next year or two. Again, completely hypothetical. James Harden, Julius Randle, Hartenstein, Kawhi Leonard, Powell, Batum, Zubac, Terrence Mann, Plumlee, Westbrook, Coffey, Bones Highland. This is going to be a very tough out in the NBA playoffs. As usual, the Clippers would have a very stacked team, great head coach in Tyronn Lue. I think this team would be a little bit more equipped to make a run at the NBA Finals. But again, the issue here is we've seen this Russell Westbrook, James Harden backcourt for years now. Hasn't always turned up success except for a couple years in OKC, but they will probably run it back, especially with Kawhi Leonard being the guy in that scenario, the same way KD was in OKC. But I think Kawhi Leonard at this stage is a little bit more demanding of the ball in the right situations versus KD at the earlier years, trusting the other two guys to do their thing. But I like the trade for all three teams. But again, completely hypothetical. I think the New York Knicks and Joel Embiid would be a match made in heaven, especially with Jalen Brunson at the helm of it. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is Joel Embiid Knicks bound? Is James Harden up out of there? Subscribe to the channel.
Easy.